It didn't work for me the last time. So why would it work this time? What's the difference this time than the last time? And God is saying, just do what I ask you. Just lean in and do the thing. Do the thing. Yeah, I'm 61 and still, God is still working. God still shows up. Still. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, God got the plan every single time. You gotta follow through. You gotta try something. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. And only you get to change it. One of the things that came up in my mind is I was talking to somebody and I was sharing the work that I'm doing now, the stem cell work and how the stem cell is reversing people, some of the things that they're experiencing, in their health. And that person was like, girl, I'm not trying to hear all that. Like I heard about those things before and they don't work. And what came up in my mind was you could bring the horse to the water, but you cannot make them drink. It's their choice. It's whether there's readiness. And guess what? I may feel like I need to help people, but it is your personal responsibility to say yes. It is your personal responsibility to decide to help yourself or not. Y'all heard that old saying before, right? You could bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, man, this thing is really not about a horse. It's about people. It's about your children, your family, your spouse, your friends, your employees, your clients, your business partners, the people that you mentor, the people that you pray for, the people that you're trying to help. Because if you've lived long enough, you probably experienced the frustration of looking at somebody and thinking, I know what will help you. You ever been there? Just knowing that you can help somebody? You know what they need to do? You know who they need to call? You know what relationship they need to leave? You know what opportunity they need to take? You know what habit they need to stop? You know what habit they need to start? You're standing there saying, baby, the water is right here. And they looking at you like, I'm good. And then they laughing, you thinking, no, you're not good. You are thirsty, your lips dry, your whole life is telling me you need some water. And still not make them drink. I think one of the hardest lessons of adulthood is realizing you cannot want somebody's life to change more than they want their life to change. The sooner you realize that, that right there will save you years of frustration. Because some of us are exhausted not because of our own lives, we're exhausted from trying to manage everybody else's. Trying to fix everybody, trying to save everybody, trying to convince everybody, trying to wake everybody up. And meanwhile, they're sleeping just fine. We're the ones losing sleep. So today, I want to talk to you about knowing when your responsibility ends and someone else's begins, because you can bring them the water, but drinking, that's their choice. You can provide all the access, but not willingness. How long have we been here on this call? 1,701 days. How many friends do I have? How many contacts in my phone? 5,600 people. But I can count on my hand how many of my friends are even here on this call, learning from my 61 years of knowledge. They're like, I don't need that call. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, you do. I'm looking right at your life. If you showed up one day a week, it would sow into your life. But they don't. That's just Lena. That's just Rose talking like she always talk. But if my friends would just listen to me sometime, it would change everything. Hey, Kathy, it would change everything. I was just talking about you. Think about what you could actually do for another person. You can give resources, you can give introductions, you can give opportunities, you can offer encouragement, you can give money, you can give advice, you can give transportation, you can give somebody a place to stay, you can connect them with the right person, you can send them the link, you can buy the book, you can pay for the class, you can even enroll them in the program. But there's one thing you cannot give another human being: willingness. They got to bring that. You can pay for somebody's gym membership, but you can't make them exercise. You can buy somebody's groceries, but you can't make them eat healthier. You can pay for therapy, but you can't make them tell the truth in therapy. You can get them the job interview, but you can't make them show up on time. You can introduce them to an opportunity, but you cannot make them work. You can show somebody how to save money, but you cannot stop them from spending. You can give somebody the blueprint, but you can't make them build. And some of us need to hear this because we keep thinking, maybe if I explain it one more time, maybe if I send another video, maybe I'll make the consequences easier. Maybe if I do more, maybe if I sacrifice more, maybe if I love harder. But sometimes your love is not the missing ingredient. The willingness is. And you can't supply that part. People change when they're ready. Change doesn't happen over time. Change happens in an instant. In an instant, somebody can decide to change their life. People are like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym. And one day they don't say nothing and they just at the gym. I'm going to eat better, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to eat better. And one day they just start eating better. People change when they're ready, when they're ready. Here's another difficult truth. People usually change when they're ready, not when you're ready for them to change. Have you ever told somebody something 50-11 times? 50-11. Yeah, 50-11. And they didn't listen. Again, you told somebody else the exact same thing. And then they came running back to you, girl, let me tell you what somebody told me. And you sitting there thinking, I know you lying. I told you that 3 years ago. But here's what I've learned. Sometimes the messenger wasn't wrong. The timing was wrong. They weren't ready to hear it. And readiness is kind of interesting. You can expose somebody to the truth before they're ready for the truth. You can expose somebody to an opportunity before they are ready for the opportunity. You can expose somebody to healing before they're ready to heal. You can expose somebody to love before they're ready to receive love. You can expose somebody to discipline before they're ready to become disciplined. Sometimes you're simply planting seeds. And we get frustrated when we plant seeds on Monday and try to harvest on Tuesday. No. Sometimes somebody will remember something you told them 10 years later. I remember when you told me. I ain't listened back then. So maybe your job is never to force the harvest. Maybe your job was simply to plant the seed. There is peace in that. I planted it. What happens after that does not belong to me. And for real, some people, they just ain't thirsty yet. Let's stay with our horse. Why would a horse standing beside water not drink? Maybe he isn't thirsty. And that made me think about people. Sometimes people don't change because they are simply not uncomfortable enough yet. Sounds harsh, but think about it. As long as staying the same feels easier than changing, many people will stay the same. Change costs something. Change costs your comfort. Change costs your ego. It costs familiarity. Sometimes it costs relationships. Sometimes it requires saying, I was wrong. Sometimes it requires you looking at yourself. Sometimes it requires admitting, hold on, this thing is doing something dumb. Sometimes it requires admitting that my choices contributed to this. And that's difficult. Some people stay where they are until staying there hurts more than change. The change doesn't come when you want it to come. Y'all remember the story I told y'all about the old man and the old lady sitting on the porch and they just rocking and their dog sitting at the feet and the dog is just the dog is just whining. It's a Les Brown story. 3 days. He's walking past, the dog is just yelping, and they are paying the dog no attention. Finally, he asked, Miss, what's wrong with your dog? She said, oh, him, he's lying on a nail. And so he said, lying on a nail. She said, oh, yeah, it hurts enough to make noise, but not enough to move. And some of y'all are making a bunch of noise, but nobody's moving. You complaining, you yelling, you screaming, but you ain't moving. You're not changing nothing. You standing right there in that thing. But when the thirst comes, some people get thirsty after losing a relationship. Some get thirsty after losing money. Some people get thirsty when their health gets bad and it needs their attention. Some people get thirsty after everybody stops rescuing them. Some get thirsty when they get tired of hearing themselves make the same excuse. You can't always manufacture somebody else's thirst. And maybe you shouldn't. Because sometimes life itself is the one doing the teaching. And if you constantly interrupt the lesson, they may never learn it. There is a difference between support and rescue. This is where it gets really uncomfortable. Because there's a difference between helping somebody and rescuing somebody. There's a difference between supporting somebody and enabling somebody. Support says, I believe you can do this. Enabling says, I will keep doing it for you. Support says, I will walk beside you. Enabling says, I will carry you even though your legs work. Support says, I will help you get started. Enabling says, I will keep fixing the consequences of your decisions you keep making. And sometimes what we call love is actually rescuing. We don't want them to hurt. We don't want them to struggle. We don't want them to experience consequences. So every time life sends them a lesson, here we come. Cape flying. Superwoman, I got it. And after a while, they learn I don't have to change because somebody will save me. Now, that's not helping. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let somebody experience the natural outcome of their choices. Not because you're punishing them, but because consequences teach what a conversation sometimes cannot. You can tell a person the stove is hot. Some people will believe you, but some people have got to touch it. And after they touch it, you probably won't have to explain the heat anymore. This lesson in family and parenting. Parents especially struggle with this because when your children are little, your job is to protect them. You control the environment, you control what they eat, you control bedtime, you control where they go, you make decisions because they are children. But when those children grow up, nobody really prepares the parents for the shift because now you have an adult child. And that adult child has something every parent eventually has to contend with: free will. They can make decisions that you disagree with. They can date somebody you don't like. They can spend money foolishly. They can take the wrong job. They can quit the right job. They can stay in situations that you would leave. They can ignore the advice that came from decades of your experience. And you'll be standing there thinking, why don't you just listen to me? Because they have their own life to live. And sometimes the wisdom you have came from mistakes you were allowed to make. That's the word. Your wisdom came from mistakes that you were allowed to make. You know, I once asked my mother, I said, you got all these grown kids. You got 9 grown kids. We got husbands and kids and all this. How do you sleep at night? She said, like a baby. I said, how? How do you not worry about all of these people? And so she said, the same way that God gave you to me, I gave you back to God. And then she said, no news is good news. If I don't hear from y'all, I know you good. I adopted that immediately with my children. You don't hear nothing? All is well. Because the minute something's off, they're going to call you, Mama. Sometimes we have to give our children our wisdom without allowing them any of our process. But some wisdom cannot be transferred. It has to be experienced. So you advise, you love, you stay available, we're healthy, you tell the truth, But sometimes you have to say, I trust that you're going to learn what you need to learn. That's different from, I approve everything you're doing. No, that means I acknowledge that this is your life, and that can be hard for us parents. This lesson is also in relationships because, sheesh, how many people have fallen in love with potential? You didn't fall in love with who they were. You fell in love with who you believed they would become. You looked at the person and thought, if he would just, if she would just, and you begin building an imaginary future around somebody else's potential. But here's the problem. Potential doesn't make promises. Potential is only possibility. Somebody has to choose to develop the potential. Cannot make someone communicate. You cannot make somebody become emotionally available. You cannot make someone stop lying. You cannot make someone become faithful. You cannot make someone become ambitious. You can't make somebody seek the healing that they need. Grand Rising. You cannot make somebody treat you properly. Cannot communicate what they require. You can establish your standards. You can create boundaries. You can make choices about your participation, but you cannot force transformation. And sometimes we stay too long because we believe if I love them long enough, they'll change. Love is powerful, but love does not override free will. You can love somebody who is still unwilling. You can love somebody and leave them alone. You can love somebody and establish this distance. You can love somebody without volunteering for dysfunction. Please hear me. Love does not require unlimited access. And you do not have to drown standing beside somebody who refuses to drink. The lesson is healing. This one is especially important because when we talk about healing, you can introduce somebody to options. You can tell them what helped. You can connect them with practitioners. You can encourage them to seek appropriate medical professionals. You can encourage movement, better nutrition, emotional work, rest, stress management, whatever tools are appropriate for that person. I know that's my life. But healing requires participation. Nobody can do anybody else's inner work. I can sit with you. I can facilitate. I can hold space. I can help you uncover things. I can ask questions. I can give you tools, but I can't go inside of you and make you choose differently. If you walk out of the session and go right back to the same habits, there is only so much another person can do. Healing is not passive. And at some point, you participate in your own restoration. And that applies emotionally too. You can't keep saying, I want peace while choosing chaos every day. You can't keep saying, I want healing while refusing to confront anything. Can't keep saying, I want a different life while protecting every behavior that created the current one. There has to be some participation. There has to be some drinking of the water. Now, entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, practitioners, speakers, this is for us. Everybody is not your customer. Everybody is not your client. Everybody is not your student. Everybody is not ready. And everybody does not need to be convinced. There is a major difference between educating someone and chasing someone. You can say, here's what I do, here is how it works, here is the investment, here is the result we're working toward. Now, here is how you can begin. And after that, they decide. I'm learning more and more. Look for the thirsty people. Why am I chasing somebody down the street with a glass of water? Please drink this. Please drink this. And they're running. I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty. Greetings, Yellow Lotus. Y'all are running behind people with a drink of water that they ain't thirsty. They don't even want it. They don't want nothing you got. But meanwhile, somebody else is saying, excuse me, do you have any more of that water? That's my person. That's your person. I know you want to give it to your brother, but your girlfriend over here is asking why your brother's running. They ain't ready. There are people actively looking for what you provide. There are people praying for the information that you carry. There are people who are ready. Spend more time serving the ready than convincing the resistant. And there's freedom in that. Because business becomes exhausting when your sales strategy becomes begging people to recognize your value. Your job is not to force the decision. Your job is to clearly present the opportunity. Their job is to choose. So please stop. Stop chasing people. There's no need to convince. Move along. And for those of you who are in leadership, this applies to you too. You can train a team, you can give them systems, you can give them scripts, give them access, show them exactly what you did, give them mentorship, hold meetings, answer questions, provide accountability. But there is one thing you cannot do. Cannot execute for them. At some point, people have to take ownership of their own life. And good leadership is not creating dependency. Cannot create dependency. And good leadership is not doing this stuff. Good leadership creates capacity. The goal is not everybody needs me. The goal is I help people learn how to move. Sometimes leaders burn out because they're carrying responsibilities that belong to the people that they're leading. You can teach, you can coach, you can guide, but eventually they have to do the work. And if somebody consistently refuses to do the work, you may have to stop building your entire operation around their potential. Build with people who are building. Stop taking people's choices personally. That's another big one. Someone says no doesn't automatically mean you failed. Somebody ignoring your advice doesn't mean the advice was bad. Somebody refusing your help does not mean your help has no value. Someone saying and somebody staying in a situation doesn't mean you failed to explain alternatives. Sometimes people simply choose differently. We waste so much emotional energy taking another person's choice personally. I should have said more. I should have done more. I should have convinced them. No, sometimes you did enough. Sometimes you explained enough. Sometimes you showed up enough. Sometimes the water was right there. They simply did not drink. And learning to release responsibility for decisions that are not yours is part of emotional maturity. You are responsible for what you offer. They are responsible for what they choose. Got it? You done enough. You said enough. And that's okay. A thought came to my mind. Oh, there's a saying that says, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Have you ever had somebody where your presentation went perfectly well and they said no? And then you turn around and you do another presentation, but the presentation is all jacked up, is all wrong, and the person says yes? Yes, I agree. You cannot reason with unreasonable people. Learning to release responsibility for decisions that are not yours is part of emotional maturity. You're just responsible for the part that you bring. A person has to make their own choices. Now, before we get too comfortable talking about somebody else, let's turn the mirror around, because sometimes we are the horse. Sometimes people have been trying to bring us water. Life has been trying to bring us water. Opportunities have been showing up. People have been giving us advice. Doors have been opening. Resources have been appearing. And we keep saying, not yet. How many books have you bought and haven't read? How many courses have you bought and haven't finished? How much advice have you asked for and never implemented? How many times have you prayed for an opportunity and then the opportunity came and fear talked you out of it? Sometimes the water is sitting right in front of us. The question is, why aren't we drinking? Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you don't feel ready. Maybe you are waiting for perfect conditions, which will never come, by the way. Maybe you're stuck in your old identity. Maybe what you asked for has arrived in packaging you didn't expect. You know, this old identity rings a bell to me. It feels like the old broke, needing money all the time me is fighting to live when the new prosperous abundant me is making different decisions, but that old stay broke mentality me is fighting for his life, and I'm trying to kill her. Get out of here. I have conversations in my head every time a bill come up. I say, that's already taken care of, even if I don't know how. But what I'm not going to allow myself to do is be sad, be upset. Oh my God, I could lose it. Oh my God, this could happen. I'm that old me that wants to cry is like trying to cry. And I'm like, we're not crying about that. We just going to do what we can. And once we do what we can, that's all we can do. That old identity is there. And then this one, maybe what you asked for arrived in packaging you didn't expect. For me, that's the stem cell company. I never thought that a product would show up in my world that would make me come out of retirement and call somebody about it and tell somebody about it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I said no 10,000 times to things like this. Like, no, that's just not me. I'm not doing that. But the result that is getting people is undeniable. So you mean if I share it, the person is going to get the result and I'm going to get paid? That's packaging that I did not expect. So ask yourself, where has life already brought me water? What do I already know? What have I been postponing? What decisions do I know I need to make? What phone call, what application, what conversation, what offer, what class, what healing, what boundary, what beginning, what ending? What is my water? We have more information available to us than any generation in history. We can learn almost anything. You can pull out your phone, how to start a business, how improve my credit, how do I cook this, how do I build this, how do I market this, how do I apply for this? Information is everywhere. So many of us, the problem is not that we don't know. The problem is we're not doing what we know. You can know every principle about money and still be broke. You can know every principle about health and still neglect your body. You can know every principle about relationships and still stay where you're mistreated. You can know every principle about business and never make an offer. Knowledge has to become behavior. Information has got to become implementation. At some point, you got to drink the water. So today, as we close, I want you to think about two groups of people. First, who who have you been drinking? Who have you been trying to force to drink? Who have you been worrying about? Who have you been rescuing? Who have you been trying to convince? Who has been consuming your emotional energy because you want something for them that they have not yet chosen for themselves? Maybe today you release some of that. You can still love them. You can still care. You can still offer support where appropriate, but you can release the illusion that you can control their choice. Then I want you to look at, where is your water? Because maybe there's an opportunity sitting in front of you right now. Maybe there's a phone call that you need to make. Maybe there's somebody you need to forgive. Maybe there's a boundary you need to establish. Maybe there's a business you need to start. Maybe there's a book you need to finish. Maybe there's an application you need to submit. Maybe there's a room you need to walk into. Maybe there is help you need to accept. Maybe there's something you've been praying for that has already appeared. And perhaps life is saying, I brought you here. I brought you the opportunity. I brought you the information. I brought you the person. I brought you to the door. I brought you to the water. Now you have to drink. And that's the part that nobody can do for you. Your family can't do it. Your mentor can't do it. Your coach can't do it. Your friend can't do it. Your spouse can't do it. Your children can't do it. There comes a moment when personal responsibility begins. So today, stop dragging people to water who refuse to drink. Stop chasing people who have already said no. Stop exhausting yourself trying to rescue everybody. Leave some water near them. Leave them right by the water. When they get thirsty enough, they know where it is. They know where you are. And while you're waiting for everybody else to drink, make sure that you're drinking your own water, because your life is calling you too. Your healing is calling, your dream is calling, your opportunity is calling, your next level is calling, and the water is right there. The question I leave you with today is simple. Are you thirsty enough to drink? There it is. Thank y'all for letting me talk to y'all. I'm so grateful and so excited for these messages that God gives me every time because that was for me. Keep calling and keep trying to tell people. Do you know this week, what's today? Was really hard for me. There was somebody who I had been talking to about the stem cell product, um, lifestyle changes for a couple of weeks. They died on Sunday. I had the water, but they refused to drink it. I had all the knowledge, but they refused. And I was so heartbroken because I knew that I could help. And then I just said, God had the plan for them and their life. And I wanted so hard for them to survive. I wanted it so bad. It was the patriarch of my friend's family. I wanted it so bad for them because he was telling them what he wanted. And I think after they didn't listen, he just gave up. That's tough to watch. And sometimes that's all we can do is watch. And maybe the next time illness comes up in that family, they will listen to the person with the answers. So I'm extremely grateful for what I get to do. Like I said, you can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot make them drink. And sometimes we just won't be able to. And we just have to be okay knowing that God has the plan for them. I just want everybody to listen right now while you still can. I want you to take care of yourself while you still can, while you can still walk, while you can still talk, while you still have your sense about yourself. That's the part that's hard for me to watch. When somebody is asking you for answers and you get, and it's like, I'm not doing it. That's nasty. No, that's life saving. So what will you do? Will you drink the water that is right in front of you? Stay blessed by the best. Ain't that what Myra Golden say? Stay blessed by the best. But I'm so grateful and excited for all that we get to do together. God is screaming at us so loudly right now, telling us to get to our gifts, to get to our talents. And that's what we got to do. We got to get to our gifts and we got to get to our talents. And we got to get to them now, not later. That thing that you good at, that thing that you do, that you so good at, you got to get to it. You got to get to it. So yeah, does anybody have anything they want to add? I saw you blowing the comments up, Yvette. Yes, thank you, sis. I really appreciate you for all that you are doing. And I know that you're coming through some things as well. And it really is answers all around. Sometimes people think that the answer costs too much. They think that healing is about money.
Girl, look, yesterday I had a young lady that I was speaking with, and that pretty much was a story. Like nobody really wants to hear it, right? Like you, I did all that talking, and she was like, "Yeah, whatever, right now ain't it." And then she was like, "And I've been smoking, so I ain't really trying to hear none of that right now either." But I'm like, "Okay, cool." But later on, she said, "Are you making any money in it?" It just so happened that I never really was in my learning in my earning center, so I said, "Let me just pull it up," and I just took a screenshot. Well, another friend talked to Dr. James yesterday. When they got off the call, he sent one, because it's like four earning centers. He sent one earning center. Why that center had $1 million and some change in it. I said, y'all gonna quit playing with me. I got millionaires in my pocket. I said, let me show you mine. I'm not here to lie to you. This is what I made so far. This is where I'm at. It's not millions, but I started this day. And it's
Mhm.
a little slower for me because I'm doing all this talking to people, talking, trying to convince. And I had to just tell myself the other day, like, we're not doing that. I'm going to share
And move on.
and I'm going to move on. I
Yep.
pray for you. But I'm trying to told you, look, not tell, I'm trying to told you I'm making money and I'm
Yes.
saving lives. Not only that, I was on Valsartan. I said I wasn't even gonna share this, but it's only us and your people that's out there in the real world. But
Yes.
I was on Valsartan. I stopped my blood pressure. I'm about to go spray right now. Don't play with me because I usually try to spray 15 minutes before I eat. But I do it all day. I probably have too much plants in my body. I don't know if you can overdose on just being good to your
Can.
body like this, but
Can.
what you talking about? No medication. Stop playing with me. I'm gonna stop taking the cancer stuff in a minute because I'm over it, right? Because I believe so much, but I'm watching what it does. But I know that this is good for me. But guess what? Talking to the doctor, guess what they tell you? Eat more plant-based stuff. Eat more plant this. Eat more. So y'all know it too, but you can't
Yes.
sit there and go against the people that you work with. Those are your partners, big pharma. So of course you're gonna tell me that this is what I know in your practice because this is what they taught you to be on these meds. But guess who ain't gonna be on them? And guess who's gonna be living beyond? I'm not, my money already was growing in the other avenues, right? This is just another stream of income. Stop playing with me, y'all. Y'all want to hang with me? I just got back from a cruise. You think I was on TV watching TV the other day, just watching cruises because I'm addicted. I'm addicted. I'm about to be in these mofo streets. Y'all want to be with me? I'm not pushing no wheelchairs. I'm not gonna be calling back home like you good over there while you laid up sick. Get with me. Get
Mhm.
with it. And that's all I say. I'll land. Y'all better listen to this lady. That's all I'm saying. Because it's all that's happening is God is speaking through her. She ain't coming up with this on her own. Like for real, for real.
No,
Not
I'm
that you
telling
ain't smart. I'm
these are all
teasing.
these
It's
are
God
all
all day, baby girl.
everything that has come up in these mini talks, these I call them mini keynotes, is from something that happened. Like literally, I gave the information. They didn't take it. They died. Simple. You can bring them the water, but you can't make them drink. And that's what came up in my mind. And that's what I developed. You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. And that's it. That's a metaphor for your entire life. So many people, you trying to tell them, you would do better if you would just go back to school, or you would do so much better if you left that job and did your skill. You would do so much better if you left that relationship and got a real one. Like so many times we are talking. And it's not we talking to somebody because they didn't ask us. They ask you. And then you tell them, and then they still don't do it. One of my good friends said to me, if I ever get sick, I'm gonna call you. What? Yeah, because I don't feel like stopping smoking right now. I don't feel like stopping drinking right now. So if I get sick, I'll call you. So it's not if you get sick, it's going to be when you get sick.
Get it in your body right
You're
now.
doing
Explain that.
everything. You're doing everything to destroy your body right now. And I'm watching you. And so I'm talking to you, but that's your response. When I get sick, I'm going to call you. So guess what? When you get sick, I'll be right here. That's all I can do. Yes, many keynotes. Okay, sounds good. But yeah, like I'm telling you, and they gotta make all their decisions on their own. People have got to make their decisions on their own. We can't make no decisions for nobody. You can give your advice, you can think what they need to do and all that, but you can't make them do it. So ain't no need for us to try. Just calm your nerve, give them back to God the same way God brought them to you. You say, God, this your child. Go on and take them back. And that's not the first time one of my friends said that. And when they got sick, guess what they did? Called me. And what did I do? Help them. But now it's going to cost you even more because healing costs money. Health costs money. But what is your health worth is the question. So it is what it is, as they say. But I thank you all for being here. Dr. Long, can you please give us our blessing for this day? Yes, Shanette. Shanette said they have to believe in the change. Yep. They do. They do.
And some things take time. So
Yeah.
people think that if they take a pill, they're going to be healed right
Magically,
away. And
magically healed.
if they if they take a natural cure after doing all the other stuff, how come I ain't healed yet? You telling me this stuff will work? Some
Yes.
of it will work for prevention
Yes, absolutely.
and will not work once you get into fourth stage cancer.
Exactly. Once the body is at a certain point of breakdown, there's nothing that can be done. It's too late. And some of the people that reach out to me, they reach out to me after they've done all of the things that tear their body up, and there's nothing I can do at that point. At that point, you need a miracle from God. You need more than what I can offer you. So don't wait. Don't wait until you in total breakdown. Do it now. Do it now. Take your vitamins, take your multi-minerals, drink your water, eat healthier. You don't got to eat completely healthy, but eat healthier. Try some whole food, plant-based things. Have a meatless Monday. Drink your water. Like it's literally things that you can do to start. Don't have to transition everything at once, but just start baby steps. And so, yeah, I think Dr. Long is not able to unmute. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. But, I am so grateful for what I get to do. I'm in Philadelphia collecting my child, and will probably leave out of town on tomorrow and find my way back to Atlanta. So I'm here in Philadelphia. It's funny. It says the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's a lot of stuff that's still the same. I'm amazed by it. It looks exactly the way I left it, uh, which is amazing to me. There's some improvement, but it mainly looks the same. But I am grateful that God has given me this space. Please, Gwen, would you like to
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I hear you unmuted.
Come on, do it with me, Willette. I'm blessed,
Okay.
and Shanette,
Yes, yes,
and Nona, Carrie, and all right, everybody. We're
yes,
blessed.
everybody.
I'm
Yeah,
blessed going
everybody.
in.
We're
I'm blessed
blessed
going
going
in.
in,
Amen.
right?
Amen.
We're blessed coming out.
We're blessed
Blessed
coming out.
coming out.
We're blessed in the city,
We're blessed
We're
in the
blessed in the
city.
city.
and we're blessed in the field.
And we're
And
blessed
we're
in the
blessed in the
field.
field.
We're always in the right place at the right time
We're always in the
Always
right
in the
place
right
at
place
the
at the
right
right time.
time.
with the right people
With
doing the
the
right
right,
thing.
doing the right
With the
thing.
right
People
people
With the right
doing the
people.
right thing.
and
Yes, Lord.
everything is
For the
in
right
divine
reason.
And
order. Oh, for the
everything
right
is
reasons,
in,
For the
Jesus.
right
Yes.
For the
reason.
right reason.
all right, it's in divine order.
Everything is
Everything
in
is in
divine
divine
order.
order. Thank you, Lord.
As Jabez says, bless
It-
us indeed.
It's J.
As
Best.
they best said,
Bless us
bless us
Bless us
indeed.
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 Expand our territory.
Expand
Expand
Our
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 territory.
territory.
territories.
Open a door of favor.
Extend and open.
Oh, yeah,
Extend
Extend
that's
an
right.
open hand of favor to us.
And
favor to
Favor.
us. Yes, so that
Yes.
we may do no harm.
So that we
so
may
we
do
may
Amen.
do
no
Make
harm.
no
no
harm.
harm.
And we let go and
And
let
we let
God
And we let
And we
go.
go
Let
and let
God.
God.
And we go with the
Go.
flow.
And we
And
go
we
with
go
the
with
flow.
the flow.
And we
And
let the
let
blessings and the money roll in.
the blessings
And let
and the
the
money
blessings and the money
roll in
roll in.
From the north, south, east, and west.
from the
From the
north
north, south, east,
and west,
and west.
From above and beneath.
from
From
above
above
and
and beneath.
From known and unknown sources.
from known
From known
and
and unknown
unknown sources.
sources.
Tell us about the money, Doc.
We
Yes,
have
Doc.
supernatural unlimited money. So it's supernatural unlimited seeds.
That's right.
Amen.
And we live and give from
And
God's
from God's
overabundance, so we
abundance
never run
shall
out.
We
never,
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 run out. Ever run
Ever,
out.
ever, ever run out.
Ever run out.
We got
We
money
will
to
always have more than
give. We
enough.
always
give,
have enough, more than enough to give,
give,
more than enough
good enough.
to
Big money to live, big money to
live,
spend,
Big,
Oh,
and big
to
yes.
money
and
to
spend,
yes,
Bigger money to
and
Big
keep.
money to
money to
keep.
keep.
big
touch
money,
our
big
bank.
money.
Right? Because you know where our bank is. Where's our bank, y'all?
Heaven. Yes,
Heaven.
thank you, Lord. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Yes.
Lord.
Lord.
Yes.
And
And where the branch
yes.
banks?
We're the branch
With the
Thanks,
banks.
thanks.
thanks.
Where the
With the
spout?
The
spout.
Where
spout
the
where the
spout,
money's coming
Money
out.
where the
coming
money
out.
is coming
Amen.
out.
Amen.
Yes, Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Right now.
Amen. God
Amen.
bless all you queens
Yes.
today and forevermore.
Thank
Yes.
you. God bless you too, Yvette.
We
Love you.
thank you.
Yes.
Love
Love
y'all
Love
Thank
you.
you
you
so
all.
much.
all.
Thank you for the
Mhm.
water. We thank you for drinking the water. We thank you for all that we get to do together in this space. God, I'm so grateful for being right here every single morning with you.
We're grateful for you
'We're grateful for you,
1,701
Darlena.
in one
Yes.
days. Yes, sir.
Amen.
Thank
Amen.
And prayer works. We just have to
Yes.
pray for our loved
Yeah.
ones and the
Mm-hmm.
individuals.
Oh, yeah.
Prayer
Mm-hmm.
works to change
Amen.
their hearts and their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Amen.
and
Yes. Yes.
forgive
Thank you, everybody,
ourselves
for
for
being here,
not.
taking up, have an amazing day on purpose. We'll talk soon. See you tomorrow, same time,
So,
same
so,
place.
Bye for
so, so.
now.
Okay.
Bye for
Bye
now.
for you,
Bye for now.
Darlena.
Okay.